What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. We got Abe Sapien in the house from Elite Creature Collectibles. This is how the box arrives. Now, this packaging style is without a doubt the best. I mean, think about it. Having this makes it way easier for when like UPS is carrying it. Then you have this to protect the box, and there's one inside, and it's plastic wrapped. And it even has this. Now, it doesn't really have a colored box, but I've always advocated for years that colored boxes are just a waste because you see it for, like, I don't even honestly look at my colored boxes. I think it's a waste. Here, once I get rid of those things, I can immediately open it up and I'm at the styrofoam. So personally, I think this is the best style boxing out there. Even better than, like, I really like Blitzway's style as well. They go almost a little excessive. But this is really good. The way they do like the straps, plastic wrap straps, no art box, which I don't like. So I really like this. Obviously, this is going to go right there next to the glove. Eventually, when Hellboy arrives, which apparently is shipping in August, I'll move the glove and just throw it back there. Glove's irrelevant. And then we'll put the life-size Tooth Fairy, which also ships same time. Anyways, I'm very excited for this, so let's go ahead and get it open. So you're not going to see me, but I'm just going to remove all that to get it ready to take out. Alrighty, folks. So we got everything open. Now, I've been having some serious issues with the Amazon Alexa. I got offered to upgrade her to make her like a superior AI, where I can talk to her. And ever since I did that upgrade, she doesn't understand anything, and she's become literally the most retarded AI I've ever used. So Jeff Bezos needs to spend less money on his wedding with that ugly monstrosity of a person he married and fix his freaking AI. Because he completely ruined it. Like, literally, I can't turn on anything in my man cave unless I manually do it in the app now. I say, turn on the man cave, and she's like, the hallway lights are not responding. I'm like, So it came with this. Yeah, seriously. Alexa is one of the most disappointing AIs I've ever dealt with. I would say it's the worst AI out there. I literally can't believe how bad it is. All right, let's take this out, get the C away, as well as see what that booklet is. Man, they taped this way too much. Like, come on. Alrighty, finally got access. Alright, so this little thing, pretty cool cover, talks about Abe Sapien, the making of the statue, images. You know, they used to do stuff like this all the time for their statues, and then they stopped. So I hope they do return it, because I actually really like that. I think it's a really cool feature. And then let's check out the COA. So I got number 39. It says of 399, but I believe only 100 or 150 of these were made. So there is the COA. These stupid things. Man, alive. They made this way too long. Ah, Jupiter, did they really tape it as well? Ah, cocksuckers. Why did they have to tape it? You have the frickin' straps, you don't need to tape this. I don't like necessarily carrying the styrofoam out. Okay. We have access. And it looks like it's just one single main big layer. All right, let's take out this base. Yeah, that tape, totally unnecessary. Alrighty, let's get out the base. Huge base in terms of like how tall it is. All right, on the bottom it says 35 of 99. So this is a 15.5-inch wide Lazy Susan. So you can see the base is not quite as wide. I'd say it's about a 13-inch base. All right, so this is what was used to release the tooth fairies in the scene in the movie. So yeah, it has little magnets right here. Go ahead and display those. I ain't gonna lie, there's a weird smell. I swear to, it almost smells like manure. This box, for some reason, it's weird. All right, so there's the back of the base, which has that, which is really cool. Maybe it's a paint style they use, but it's a very almost manure type smell. So this does have a light up feature. Here is the plug-in. So here's the plug, USB, and then this. So we'll test that out. Okay. This is just screw it. Just gonna break it. So here is the toolbox. Very nice. And what else we got here? I believe this is going to be the little tooth fairy on the front of the base. Yep. Okay. Yes, as you saw, he was wrapped. So my buddy Virtual Devil got this, and he actually had a bunch of tooth fairies made to display like on the base. So it goes right there. I mean, here inside the base you can see like the mouths of a ton of tooth fairies and teeth, but there is not an actual full tooth fairy. So he got 4 of them made. I have considered, like, should I potentially commission to whoever he made them to make me some? It looks pretty cool for sure. So Ape Sapien is one complete figure. There is no parts. Which I always question that, because like, what if an arm breaks or something? Very risky. There's a ton of padding here. Oh, wow. So his foot literally has a plug-in here. All right. That's interesting. Oh, gotta hide the cables. That's interesting they've done that. I've never seen a statue do that before. What the? Guys, are seriously not opening? I'm gonna have to. Yeah, see, this is annoying. Okay, there we go. Goodness gracious. Oh gosh. There is so much plastic. Oh my Jupiter. All right, we are getting close. This is probably the most plastic I've ever seen on a statue that's like plastic wrapped. They did not want to do any swap outs for this. Because normally stuff like this would be like a, you know, magnetic, like that gun. That's very risky, that gun. I've seen that on many statues where that would break. So they had to use all that to go ahead and ensure it's not freaking damaged. Alrighty, and just to confirm, that is everything. Okay, let's get a good look at this bad boy, see what we're working with. Yeah, I know Virtual Devil also had like certain things inside his goggles, so you had to remove it. Now this is actually mixed media. It's not sculpted like the life-size bust is. So that is interesting that they actually made the outfit like that. And the light up is going to be on his breathing apparatus. I initially thought on this that these tools were going to be able to like come out. Like you could individually take them all out. Nothing comes out. They're all, in essence, glued. I am surprised that was also one whole piece. Like, pretty crazy, honestly. And now he's reading a book. You can read the actual lettering in it. You can't change the page or anything. They could probably honestly make the pages look a little better at the top. Very nice. Very, very nice. Let's test out this light up feature, see what we're working with. All right, we're gonna have to move this over. All right, where is the plug? Here on the right-hand side. Oh, there you go. All right. Yep, so it's just his, let's see, it's the actual, ooh, looks like is that breathing lights? It is. All right, and yep, because the life-size bust also has that light up there. I think the life-size bust also has the breathing. Wait, there's that part right there, Jupiter. Oh, that goes down that. All right, folks, I got everything cleaned up. Now, let's analyze this statue in detail and decide if it's worth the ginormous price tag. So we'll just go from bottom up. So you have this blue base, which of course has these tooth fairies right here. And then like that wood or almost like bricks actually. And then some cracking. You can see right here, this it's probably cement, honestly, because that looks like cement right there, like giving away painted blue. And then again, right here, there is the plug-in. We'll just take that out, actually, for now, so I can fully rotate it, no problem. That's where the final piece went, the strap to hold his container. And then, of course, you have the back. So that is the hotel name, looks like almost drapes, and then the two containers that released said tooth fairies in this particular scene. And then, of course, at the top, you have some sort of logo. I'm pretty sure it's probably like Ape Sapiens logo, or it's not that, is it? Can't really tell, but some sort of logo on top. And then, of course, also part of the base is this thing right here. So you have like 5 books, some scissors, almost like keys, bottles, teeth, lots of things, even that like little poster. And at the top, it's in another language, can't read it. But it's very nice looking, very detailed. Like even those like bottles are extremely detailed. Very, very nice. Then you have Ape Sapien himself. I'm still kind of surprised how they did that light up. I've never seen that where you like plug it in like that and then hide the cables. But whatever, as long as I can't see it. So I think I did a good job hiding the cables. So yeah, you can kind of see it right there. You could probably actually rotate it. There you go. Boots look very nice. You can't really move the pants up. These kind of feel like real leather. So very nice, high quality pants. Then you have this gun here. Yeah, that's in there pretty good. The belt, which, yeah, it's really hard to move that if you tried to move it, so it doesn't really move. Then he has lots of different pouches, kind of similar. Very nice belt buckle, though. Then you go up to the top, it has his logo, Sapien. And then here's the translucent resin hand, which looks very nice. And the skin tone, very nice skin for sure. Like the blue patterns. Check out the back part of the hand. Very, very nice paint job. So, fan of that. And then here is the book, which, like I said, you actually can see writing. It is in English. I'd have to honestly probably take a photo of it to try to read that. I probably will. But maybe if you guys pause that and read it, let me know what it says. Yeah, so the skin paint app is just phenomenal. And then, of course, you have his head and the water part, which looks exceptionally well done. We'll, of course, show it next to the life-size bust. And then, of course, on the back part. And then you guys already saw the light up. And then, of course, it's going to go right there next to the life-size bust. I actually prefer the COA on this one. I'm only displaying 2 COAs in this Hellboy setup. So we actually decided to do the 1/3 right here. Let me fix the lighting in here, and we'll move the statue over here now. Alrighty, so here it is next to the life-size bust. Alright, let's back it up. Much easier to see in person, by the way, versus this video. I'll probably have to have it that close just because, yeah, it's going to be tight for that Hellboy. But the Hellboy is very small base. And I actually can move the bust over several inches. But the 1/3, I believe, I mean, you remove this, you move this over. I was going to move over at least till about right here. So move it over like 5 inches. So from right here, it's going to go to right there. And then the 1/3 should fit right there. The 1/3 does seem to have a smaller base in this guy. It's like a circular base. I think it's also actually probably 13 inches, but we'll make it work right here and then move the arm back there. Got to move the Alita logo. But here it is. Let me zoom out. Boom. So this bust came with that logo. So I don't really care to display that logo per se with the bust. So I think right here it actually fits a little bit better. Just right in front of this statue. You could do it like that. So yeah, let's back it up. So yeah, we're waiting obviously on Hellboy 1/3. He's just as tall, 33 inches tall. So as you can see, the 1/3 is definitely bigger than the bust. Not a normal inkling. For now, because I don't have the Hellboy 1/3, I'm going to move it a little to the left so it's not quite as close to the bust. All right, I decided to scoot everything a little bit over this, just a tiny bit over, just so it can be displayed a little bit better for now. It's definitely going to be a tight display, and I probably will also even move the TV a little to the left because I can cover a little bit of Marcus's bust. But this is ideally how I'd like to have it, like that spacing. I feel like that is much more comfortable, doesn't look as squished. So that is how I prefer that. Eventually, I've actually probably considered moving Broly down low and doing Sume Goku and Sume Frieza top shelf behind him. But in terms of like how it compares to the bust, now the bust, the head definitely has more detail on this. I was looking especially at like the skin textures and the intricate paint work right here versus this. It definitely has textures, but not as like prominent. Plus that paint style right there, as you can see, is just not as good as this. This definitely has more textures, more detail. Some other things on the face just look a little bit better on this. But this, for the 1/3, definitely looks absolutely phenomenal. The eyes seem to be a very similar quality. For a 1/3, it's absolutely 10 out of 10 for sure for that portrait. Very, very good. There's like custom glass eyes with the water goggles. I really love this hand. The detail is phenomenal. I love the translucent resin. Yeah, and this one is a real like leather costume where this is fully sculpted. So I would say I prefer the real costume versus the sculpted. Sculpted does look really good though. Like the way they did all this versus that, not quite as good, but in general, I do prefer real costume. So the bust cost, I think with like shipping and whatnot, like $2,000. And then this one was like $2,700. In general, with Elite Creature Collectibles, I do prefer the 1/3 over the life-size bust. And I think for this case, that is still true. I think the Ape Sapien Maquette 1/3 is still the superior of the two. The bust does have a little bit better detail and paintwork, but the overall statue, I prefer, like the overall piece to piece, I prefer the full-blown statue. So yeah, they each have Easter eggs on the back where this one like has his egg right there. And then that one's going to have the tooth fairy. Now I put that there, but it's kind of blocking the angle of potentially seeing that back there. So you can kind of see like coming around the hallway. Yeah, right now we have Broly here, and I do like Broly, but I'm thinking of switching him back down low. And frankly, what I'd like to do is Broly by himself here, Sume Goku and Sume Frieza, and then do KD Goku versus Vegeta where Grimlock's at. Although if we're going to put the full God of War display there, it just won't work. Nevertheless, we'll figure that out another time. But yeah, overall, it's a great piece. $2,700 for me. I mean, it's a 99 ES, fantastic detail. Love the concept. Very, very cool. Definitely worth it for me. I would definitely take a statue like this over a J&D any day of the week. I prefer extremely cool concepts and larger 1/3. Like this is much larger than like, let's say like this Batman or I mean, the nice thing about J&D is obviously it is extremely detailed, but their concepts are just always so mediocre. The bases just, they could at least make the bases tall like the Abe to give them that height. I don't like a 26-inch tall or 28-inch tall 1/3. I prefer them taller. I want my 1/3s to be 30 inches or taller. So overall, I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10. Very, very cool. Definitely like it. I'm glad the box isn't too big. So Hellboy's next and the Tooth Fairy, they should apparently both be shipping end of August each. They said Hellboy's basically done on production. They're just waiting for Guillermo del Toro's signature. I believe it's his, or I don't know if it's Ron Perlman. This one has Doug Jones. This one has Guillermo del Toro and the sculptor. So they're probably going to do Guillermo del Toro and not Ron Perlman. I'd honestly prefer Ron Perlman. But I'm kind of surprised they didn't fix the COA to show 99. Yet the base shows 99. The bust is also 99. So these are definitely going to be some rare pieces. And in terms of like resale value, I think the resale value is going to be there. It's a niche character from a classic great movie, underrated movie in my opinion. And in general, ECC typically holds its value on like the movie stuff. I think like their own concepts don't hold the value, but when it comes to anything else, I think they hold their value. And being a low ES of 99, that's quite low when you consider other statues like Underworld. There was 500 made, for example. So 1/5 the amount. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Abe Sapien maquette by Elite Creature Collectibles. Now we're obviously just waiting on Hellboy. So be very, very nice when we get him in. But yeah, we're going to definitely probably scoot the TV over to about right there to give us a little bit more space on the Hellboy display. Just want it to be a little bit more spacious, and I'm fine covering part of the wing and that shoulder to make so that looks a little bit more spacious. Let me know what you guys think. In terms of the next statue, it's probably going to be Lady D. So it might be a few weeks, but I'll try to come out with content as I can. Otherwise, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.